Hi, how you doing, Nelson?
I'm doing good. We're doing this. I remember in the car you were asking me, "What is this about?"
Yeah, exactly. But thanks for having me also in the podcast.
Yeah,
Of
it's such a
nothing,
delight
actually.
having you. It's a podcast about nothing, and I told you it's about nothing, so
Yeah.
it made
So
it a bit easier.
yeah, we can.
Yeah. So I want us to start kind of like you. Usually, I don't start with the introduction. I think you'll introduce yourself after the first thing what we talk about. But I want us to listen to a segment of something that you did, and then we
Okay.
can kind of talk after that. And it's good today that we can actually play something.
Okay.
Okay.
Where we originally from is nothing but trouble. We talk about the South Sudan struggles on a daily basis. Grave diggers using shovels. Where we originally from is nothing but trouble. We talk about the South Sudan struggles on a daily basis. Grave diggers using shovels. Where we originally from is nothing but trouble. We talk about the South Sudan struggles on a daily basis. Grave diggers using shovels. Shovels. Jibule nagan, comrade Jibule nagan, comrade Kalita Jai, Kalita Jibule nagan. That's
Yes,
not my voice, that's Kembe though.
that's canvas
Yeah,
now.
that's my teacher, my
So
mentor.
that what we just listened to is you. That is you actually prefacing that or doing the
Yeah,
intro for that song.
exactly.
And for to put it into context, like this song is talking about the struggle of the South Sudanese and the SPLM and the
Exactly.
SPLM
During the
movement by then,
liberation
during the
movement.
liberation movement.
Exactly.
That is when South Sudan has not yet gained independence, but like there were a lot of talks and kind of people were kind of doing all mobilization for us to fight the war and win the war against the northern government by then.
Yes,
And
exactly.
this song was released in which year?
Um, 1998 was when we recorded it, but
Yeah.
I'm not very sure about exactly when it
Yeah,
was
it was
released.
recorded in 1998. And it's a legendary song. Like I listened to this thing growing up. In fact, we used to listen to it so clandestinely because it was I grew up in Khartoum. It was not allowed. Listening to Kembe
Right.
is not something that is very much
Yeah,
celebrated by then
yeah.
because of political reasons. But the person whom you're singing with in this, whom you're kind of rapping beside in this song, the song called Comrade, is Emmanuel Kembe,
Yeah.
who is the biggest South Sudanese artist, vocalist, and singer-songwriter.
Yes, he is. He is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is.
he is.
Um, I want you to take me back to the making of this song. How old were you?
I was 11 at the time.
That is an 11-year-old who was rapping at the start of that song.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute. Like you were 11 and you were sounding that way. I never knew that this rap was done by an 11-year-old.
Even my mom thought a thief broke into the house. One day I was talking to my friend. It's like it happened overnight, and I guess that was just a gift from God that let him have this voice so he could be able to spread the
So
message
your
of
voice
what was
broke very early.
very early. Exactly,
So like at the age of 11, you were rapping this way.
exactly.
But it's not only the voice, but the talent. For you to rap that way, you need more than just a voice.
I've been writing lyrics even after I learned how to spell, because even before we went to
Yeah.
school when we were very young, we used to be quizzed in the house, like how to spell words and
Mm.
how to, and we always like, we grew up with a very with a parents who were very strict on education, and so we studied a lot, like especially when we were in China, and then when we moved back to Tanzania, what we did, we always were quizzed, and we were always in the top half of the class.
So so like education was something very important
Very
in the
important,
family. Yeah.
exactly. That
Okay.
was the only beatings that we got when we were
Yeah.
not serious with school.
Yeah. So now let me get back to your name. What's your full name? Like
My name is L.U.A.L. L.U.A.L.
Lual.
Manyang Awol.
Okay.
Yeah, L.U.A.L.
And
Dawol.
and you go by your rapper or stage name is Lual. You go
L.U.A.L.
by that also.
L.U.A.L.
Yeah, and I
Lyrically
think yeah, and
untouchable African legend.
what do you call that?
Lyrically untouchable African legend.
Lyrical, untouchable African legend. Because I saw in the songs the name is written with like dotted.
Yeah, it's
So
an
that's kind
acronym.
of it's an acronym.
Yeah, so
What
that's what it
what
stands
does that
for.
like What made you to come with that acronym?
No, because I always used to do that. Like, I make acronyms out of a lot of things. So I
Ah,
said, let me just make my name an acronym because not a lot of artists use that
yeah.
formula. So I said, let me.
And then like your name and your stage name is kind of the
Yeah,
same.
it's
L.U.A.L.
it fits.
Yeah, and when people refer to you actually with one name, because when you say L.U.A.L, the people know L.U.A.L the rapper.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's a very unique way of putting it.
yeah,
So take me back to days. You here you are by then you were in the States.
yeah. We were in the U.S. at that
You're in
time.
the US. And you told me that you grew up in so many places.
Yeah, son of a diplomat. We moved around a lot. So
How many places did you move to?
can we? I don't know how many I can count now.
But you have been into a lot.
Like all the continents we've traveled. There's no continent that we haven't been in.
Wow. Because your dad was a diplomat, that kind of afforded you the opportunity.
Yeah.
Do you think that kind of shaped a bit of your perspective for your music to some extent?
Yeah, I think because it exposed me to a lot of different cultures and a lot of different people, and the more you get exposed, the more you learn from different.
Yeah. So here you are, 11-year-old in the States, and you get a call or someone tells you that you should do a call. No, I don't see a lot of 11-year-olds sitting and saying that they want to collaborate with Kembe. Like, how did that happen?
Well, how it happened was, the South Sudanese community is very close knit
Yeah.
in diaspora. So, people talk like, oh, there's this rapper, he's in Texas, and then after a little bit, I moved to Maryland, and now he's in Maryland, and I think you should do a song with Kembe. And then they were like, the same thing was being said to Kembe, like there's an artist, a rapper who also raps the same type of patriotic songs as you. His name is L.U.A.L. I think you guys can collaborate. So one day I get a phone call, and it's Kembe, and he was like, hi, I'm Emmanuel Kembe. I was like, yeah, I know exactly who you are. I haven't listened to your album.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I heard that you're a good rapper. I told him I try. Then he said, okay, can you sample me something? And then the same lyrics that I used on Comrade was
Yeah.
a song that I was working on. Which
So you
is
had
called
already
Eclipse.
been working on the song.
On the song.
Yeah.
It's called Eclipse. So I gave him one of those verses. I freestyled to him one of those verses, and he was like, that could fit perfectly into a song that he's working on called Comrade. So I did end up making Eclipse, but I took that one verse that he said
Yeah, yeah.
could fit, and then I put that verse on his song, and then added another verse to finish the other song called Eclipse.
Wow. And so once Kembe called you, how long did it take before you and Kembe started the recording?
The same day.
Wait, so Kembe calls you that same day.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I was in Maryland, and my cousin was like, who are you talking to? I told him Emmanuel Kembe. He was like, huh? Emmanuel Kembe, the artist? I was like, yeah. He was like, okay, let me go and get some fuel. I'm going to come get ready. We're packing. We're going to go to Kembe, and we're going to work on this
I
project.
think your cousin realized that this is a golden opportunity. We don't need to waste
he
time.
did. Yeah, he didn't waste time at all.
So then you drove to
4 hours all the way to North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then we did the song. We slept on, Kembe gave us a room. He had a guest room.
Yeah.
We slept in that room. The next morning, we were rehearsing all night. The next morning,
Wow.
we were in the studio. And it was not only that other song, we also recorded Enjoy Your Youth and Kursi Uguruj.
Yeah, Kursi Uguruj.
And Mimi Nawewe we recorded after, like when when we went to go and meet John Garang in DC. Then after that, that's when we recorded.
So you record this. So you like the following day immediately you were recording. You're kind of rehearsing and what.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, did Kembe know that you were 11-year-old before you came?
He knew I was young, but I didn't really tell him how old I was. Yeah.
No, by the time you showed up, was he like, huh?
Yeah, he was like, you seem like a very smart young boy.
Yeah.
Because he was like, we're working on a song called Enjoy Your Youth. Then he played the beat.
Yeah.
And I'll just write. Like, it doesn't even take me time to write a
write
verse.
the lyrics.
To
Yeah.
write the lyrics, and and then it doesn't really take time also for me to deliver it. Like, I can read off paper. You'll think maybe I'm not reading.
Yeah.
think
So
that
you
I'm
kind of like
rhyming.
it
Yeah.
flows. It flows kind of like very smooth.
Yeah, because I've been doing it my whole life, basically.
Yeah, but also that's the other thing which when I met you earlier on, I was telling you is that like, I don't know, like you have been rapping for long.
Very long.
Yeah, it's like when I met you, I was telling you that like I looked at one of your videos and it's like 10 years old, and you were telling me I've been in the industry for like 20-something years.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that at times. Do you think so? Do you think a lot of the younger people don't know that you have been in the industry for that long, or you have been rapping in the 90s?
Yeah, they're not aware. because it's not really also. A lot of people don't really like. I don't like to brag, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like to like talk about things that I've done and stuff like that. But yeah, like if you do go back and ask like people that really know me closely behind the scenes, they'll tell you, yeah, what up.
They tell you like you have been. So then take me to this other thing. So you and Kembe go to meet Garang.
Yes.
Um,
He requested that he wanted Kembe to come to him at Sheraton Hotel.
so John Garang, the leader of the SPLM movement, by then requested that he wants to meet Kembe at the Sheraton Hotel.
Yeah.
So in which city was that?
This was in Washington, D.C., which is like 45 minutes away from where I was based in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So then he calls me and tells me that we're going to go and meet Gereng. So if I can meet him in Dr. Deng Deng's house,
Yeah.
who is the brother, Ambassador Deng Deng's house,
Yeah.
who is the brother of L.U.A.L Deng, the former minister of
Presidential affairs. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we drive from Baltimore to D.C., or I think I take a train or something like that. Then I go to D.C. To
Deng Deng's
Ambassador's
house.
house, and then he's there and we're waiting, and then he's like, okay, let's go and meet Gereng. So we go and meet Gereng, but Gereng is having meetings, and it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Wow.
And by the time he appears, it's like 3 in the morning. Then we meet him.
So you meet Garang at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was awesome. Yeah.
because of course then Kembe, what does Kembe say to Garang? He introduces you?
Yeah, he does introduce me, and a matter of fact, he even knew who my dad was.
Garang knew your dad and knew Garang knew your dad and knew about you.
Yeah, knew about me.
He knows about you as an artist.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, but you seem like are you studying? I told him right now I'm about to transfer to a different high school, and he was like, it's very important. Education should be first, then you can do your music later, because you'll have something else to fall back on if music doesn't work out.
So that was Garang advised you, John Garang advised you that like, hey, Dr. John Garang advised you like, so he talked to you about education even during that meeting.
Yes, he did.
Do you think also that was also a reflection of how his priorities and his character also? He valued education.
Yeah, he did.
So then how was the rest of the meeting? How was it?
He was just saying that like he was telling us a whole bunch of things about
the movement.
Yeah, that what was happening, and that Kembe his voice was boosting the morale of the soldiers and who were in the battlefield, who were fighting. So we should continue with that spirit. That he should continue with that spirit, and stuff like that.
Kembe and you also.
No, but my priority was to go back and make sure that I finished.
No, I meant like your voice also combined with Kembe's voice, then contributed to later on giving people morale or giving people some sense of something.
But that Kembe was working on his second album at the time.
Oh, but then he had already released an album.
Liberate South Sudan. But then he released Chain Shen, and Chain Shen was what was boosting the morale of. And then he had not heard Comrade. He had not heard Kursi Gurush and these other songs.
So then, like that as a young person, that must have been really, like that's like you met Dr. John Garang and he knew about you and your music, and you collabo with Kembe. Like that seems like did you think that you picked at a very early age, or you kind of like reached a certain level of recognition at a very early age?
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what happened. But we had no video, so I was not really recognized.
Yes.
People would not know that was me, and I would not tell people that I was the one.
That is interesting, because that was prior. That's before YouTube, before video, and so you like
everything. It was even tapes. There was CDs and tapes. There was even no flash.
So no one will know you.
Yeah,
they probably know the song and what. But that's interesting, because until now you still don't have a video of that song. Those songs don't have videos. The one you recorded with Kembe.
Yeah, because by the time that we could have done the video, we didn't do it because of security purposes. And also where my dad was working, and also like we didn't want it to be like
You didn't want to connect too much, and when you say security purposes, it like understandably like those songs were very not liked so much by the Sudanese government then.
Yeah, they were not.
So that's what you meant by security reasons.
Yeah. Like even when I did a show in Khartoum in 2009, and then they called me for a radio talk show, They actually asked me, "Are you the one who sang with Kembe this song?" I was like, "No, that's not me." I denied. I was like, "Nope, denied."
Yeah, because that can be a bit. I
Yeah.
think that song really made them not good. They didn't feel good about it.
Yeah, they did not. But it's the truth.
But
And
it's
the
the truth.
always hurts.
Yeah, the truth always has. And do you think this theme of truth and consciousness is kind of consistent in your music?
Yeah, because like I told you, Kembe is my mentor.
Yeah.
So he always told me that make sure you make songs that have meaning. Meaningful songs last longer, but these social songs and other songs, they have their
The expiry date, yeah.
expiry date is there.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to play Kursiu Gurush. I wanted to play Gurush. Okay, I'm just kind of like, I'm trying to look for it. So I'm just playing this. So what was Kursiu Gurush? What was it about?
It was about defections from the movement for individual interest. Like people defect and come back to the movement, and the grass is suffering because two elephants are fighting, and when they come back, people are also dying because, that's yeah.
So that was Kursiu Gurush was about, and I think it was talking about the defections in the movement and how like people, whenever people shift loyalties, a lot of people suffer because of that.
Yeah.
I think and you also rapped in that. You
Yes.
also and that one you did it that very night. That
Yeah, the
following
same
day.
night that we did
Yeah.
Comrade, at night I wrote my verse for Kursiu Gurush because the Comrade one was already there.
Yeah.
Because I took it from the song Eclipse. And then the Kursiu Gurush and the Enjoy Your Youth, I had to create new ones then and then, that night. Yeah.
So kind of creating that song the same time, and I think kind of like doing those two. Those are very legendary songs to do them at such a short time. I'm puzzled actually by how you're able to do that. Like just trying to put the two together. We'll play Kursiu Gurush later on here. What I kind of like want to ask you now is that like how do you we were talking about this actually early on when we were driving in here, and I was telling you about like how you view the current rap game in South Sudan and stuff like that. And I was telling that you're legendary, and I was telling you like a lot of rappers, everyone says that they're the best, and you told me that they're not trying to be mean. That is what being an artist is.
Yeah, that's like to be an artist, you have to feel like you are the best.
Yeah.
It's not up to you, it's up to the fans. And there's a lot of good talent in South Sudan. And of course, there's a time where also I will retire and pass the baton on to the next generation that's coming up, and vice versa also. So yeah, there's some good talent that is coming up there. But my advice to them would be just make meaningful songs that will not expire.
That will not spare.
Yeah.
Do you think people are doing a lot of meaningful songs?
Not really.
Not really. So you think a lot of people, if people are not doing meaningful songs, what are people doing?
They're beefing each other because they're trying to, controversy sells. They're trying to stir up controversy so that people get to talk about them and say, oh, this is happening and this and that. But yeah.
So like people want to create personality, people want to create a lot of
Yeah,
controversy around.
they want to create beefs and diss songs and
Yeah. And early on you were telling me like the industry, that's kind of like the industry is too young for that.
yeah, it's too young for that. We still don't even have our intellectual rights. We don't have our royalties. A lot of things that is missing in this industry. So we need to unite and get and go to Parliament and go to the Ministry of Youth and Culture and let them know, yeah, this is our grievances as artists, and yeah, we want some demands to be met. Like we need those things. Yeah, but if we're beefing with each other, how are we going to be able to achieve that?
Do you
If
feel
we're not united?
yeah, and we were talking about that earlier on, and we said like music doesn't pay. Like at least doing music, you're telling me doing is a good passion, but it's not paying here in South Sudan.
Yeah, it's not paying. Like you can have the hit song of the year, and you don't have nothing to show for it.
Yeah, because there are no royalties. There are no
Yeah,
what
there are
like
no, yeah.
the only payment that comes is by doing shows.
Shows, yeah.
Yeah. And early on we were talking about this, and we are saying like for you to do shows, you need it's also a lot of work. You need to have a hit song.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and
You have to be. Yeah, people have to be looking for you. People have to, like, yeah.
people have to order your songs. People
Yeah.
have to do it, and that makes it. And you were telling me even there is a formula. You have to ensure that like, you have people who call radio stations.
Yeah,
who tell them, hey, play this song.
yeah. Exactly. People who will promote.
Who kind of
will distribute your songs to different areas within the nation, like in Kapoita, Ye, Torit, Yambio, Rumbek, Kwajok, Bor. Yeah, you have to have that link, that connection where you can send these songs to those places so it can go viral.
Yeah.
So, but if it hits in Juba, say for example in Mariah FM or iRadio, then it goes to all those areas. Then they're gonna be wanting the song, and then there's piracy.
Yeah.
People are in computers selling your song that you invested in and paid for, and distributing the song.
Why do you think that happens? I mean, I know what happens because of money and what, like, but why do you think it's so prevalent?
Because there's no royalties. If royalties were there, then these type of people will have to be. Yeah,
they will face some consequences. Yeah. So do you think like the music industry here needs more work in that structural sense?
A lot more work. We don't even really have a structure, and there's no real good system that governs. Because, music is a business. Music is not a government. And I think a lot of people who are even musicians, they don't even know how the music industry really works.
Because like what the song, what we hear as in the music, it's only a small part of the music industry.
Yeah.
There is a whole monster at the back. There is a whole giant structures that work.
Yeah.
And you think that like that is structural, like for us we just have the music bit, but the industry bit is not that much there.
Yeah, it's not there. The talent is there, but people don't really know how things work in the music game.
And I think actually that goes back to a point that I was telling you earlier on, and probably I could be simplifying this, but I was telling you like it seems like everyone got their act together. Like the Ugandans have their own genre, have their own thing. The Tanzanians, the Kenyans,
yes, exactly.
like they even taking from their country and then pushing it globally.
Yeah.
Like then it has to be recognized, and what the Nigerians are doing with the Afro beats and all that, and the West Africans. But like here in South Sudan, it seems like we haven't got a hang of it yet.
Yeah. When I was in Tanzania, like a lot of my best friends now they're stakeholders in the music industry.
Wow.
Like P Funk Majani, he used to sit right next to me in class where he was a DJ and then became a producer, the godfather of bongo flavor.
Wow.
And so, like now they're doing good, but it was not easy for them also. They had to.
So they had to do a lot of heavy lifting at the start.
They did a lot of heavy lifting. So that's why now the Diamonds and the Harmonize, they're the ones who are
benefiting from the fruits of that.
From that labor.
So you think here also there are a lot of work that needs to be put in that?
A lot of work definitely has to be done.
Do you think people are willing to put that work? Or are you seeing that work?
Yeah, they should be willing to, unless they're benefiting individually and they want the status quo to remain. But that wouldn't be patriotic. I think it would be good for us to pave the way for the generations that are coming.
I find that is not the kind of talk people are having in the corners. People are having about like how to get their share of the cake. And that's a bit that is a bit problematic. But what if people say like things are hard for us? Because even for the artists, as much as they want to push, things are really hard.
Yeah,
look at. I mean, even for the people who are listening to music, when they're hungry, the song doesn't hit well.
Exactly.
If they're hungry, they're running around. The dollar price is up and what? Like, what if someone tells you that like, is there a place for music and even in the midst of all this running around?
I think when it comes time for campaign, that's when a lot of people will realize the value of artists. And like I'm like all artists should just boycott. But if an artist is hungry and a politician comes and gives him something for him to be able to buy a car or make a rakuba, I think they will
they will kind of age for that. Yeah, I think that's kind of a bit of it's a kind of a bit of a catch-22 kind of a scenario, like trying to kind of look into these and what. I want to talk about generational divide. Like, for example, you did a song with Crazy Folks, which we're going to play later.
Yeah.
I think probably when you start singing, probably Crazy Folks was just born or was not born yet.
Yeah, exactly. It was.
How do you, and I mean, that's with all respect to Crazy Folks. It's just like the age different. It's like the age
Yeah,
and the
it's
kind
there.
of the generations are different. When the two of you meet, how does that encounter look like?
I mean, it's a musical creation. It's something that, you know, like music. I think it doesn't really have. Uh, there's not really a.
A divide in the
Yeah,
terms
yeah,
of the generation. So
yeah.
once you meet, the music speaks.
Yeah, the music speaks. Yeah.
And like right now, and so there are a lot of other young rappers and young artists whom you kind of do stuff with, or you consult with, or they consult with you, and
Yeah,
you do stuff
exactly.
and
Like
what.
like how Kembe worked with me. I'm
Yeah,
open
yeah.
to work with the younger artists.
Yeah,
too.
because Kembe worked with you at a very young age. Probably like a lot of people will not take such a young person seriously
Yeah.
to put them in kind of like the lead feature song or something like that. But Kembe afforded you that chance, and you're also doing the same
Yeah,
to
to others,
you're also doing the same to others.
Yeah, and hopefully also when they become older, also they do to others too.
Yeah,
So
and also
that's
they
just
do to
how.
others. I think that's kind of very inspirational to take something a thread and kind of continue to take a thread and kind of continue with it to the next stage. Like you did this, the two songs that Kembe and yourself did were like very controversial in their day because like it was not welcomed. Do you think there are some songs that are not welcomed right now here?
Yeah, like my song Dola Jadid has been banned from being played on radio stations, but I didn't say anything wrong in the song. Like,
Oh, banned
I'm
from
a,
being played in radio station in South Sudan.
yeah,
What is the name of the song?
Dola Jadid.
Dole Jadid.
Yeah,
Dole Jadid means a new country.
yeah,
So Dole Jadid is not playing on radios right now.
yeah, it's been banned. I've actually also been harassed and intimidated and arrested and detained. Not arrested, but detained, and for
For singing and speaking.
yeah.
You don't you find that ironic that like at one time you were being asked to sing for this country, and now you're being asked not to sing for this country. I don't like. There is a bit of irony in that, don't you think?
Yeah, but it's my country, so I have to speak the truth about what's happening. Like, if there's no water, I'll say there's no water. If water tanks are killing people, like how
Yeah.
our sister was killed, Trisha
Yeah,
C,
Trisha C,
I have to speak out about that. And if like 2 million people died during the struggle, right?
Yeah.
So we're still going through another struggle. The struggle is not finished. It's still like there's a lot of things that are going on with the youth, especially that like we're not, especially like activists and artists, like we cannot even do things that are our constitutional right. We can't express ourselves. We can't, like, if there's something wrong, like if we go out like the other day when they
Yeah.
tried to go and make
On
a
the
protest,
protest,
yeah, people were arrested, and it was like, you know, it's like, it's the separation? Was it the devil we know, the angel we don't know? Because now it seems like that.
Yeah.
That's really what's going on.
As a conscious artist, and I think for me, it's probably, I think all artists, probably all art should be conscious to a great degree. Maybe it's not at times. So you find that like you find that your rap or whatever you speak reflects the reality of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like a fine artist. Like if they were to tell you, okay, can you draw this place? You cannot leave anything. You have to draw everything that you see, right? So it's the same thing with music. We have to talk about what we see, and we don't do that because it's like a constructive criticism. It's because we love our country and we don't want to see it go astray. So we talk the things that need to be addressed, the issues that need to be addressed. There's no difference between artists and MPs.
Yeah, I actually like that analogy of the fine artist because you're asked to draw a portrait of what you see.
Yeah.
If drawing anything else apart from what you see, you'll be doing injustice to the whatever that. And I think you that's how you view music also.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly. It is.
musicians sing about what they see, even about love. When people sing about love, I think mostly it comes from a place where they have seen love.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they have not seen it. Also, they are speaking about the lack of it. So,
yeah. Exactly.
yeah, I don't. I'm not so much into music, so I listen.
Okay.
I find some some of the things that are being sung by Coco San or Dynamic. I find like the vocal rhythm and the whole thing. I just find it very enjoyable. Like when Dynamic did this L.U.A.L this song, like the level of creativity, combination, vocalist, bringing everyone in, putting. I like I don't know like I don't know how to make music. I know how to run projects. When I see that, I was like, wow, that's a lot of work. Bringing people in the morning, putting lunch together, trying to asking people to try, and trying to deal with. And as you said earlier on, every artist thinks that they're the best. If you bring all of them together, you also have to cater for that. Ego, art ego.
A lot of ego,
I find that to be very, very admirable. Like to be able to do that, to be able to produce a song, to be able to do that. Do like what like right now when you look into the whole music industry, you know, look into the scene and stuff like that. And I was discussing with you earlier on. I was asking you whether you and Kembe can shoot a video for some of the songs you did. You're like, oh, it will be outdated. But like you're telling me that you could do a remake or a different version of it, and there were discussions around that.
Yeah.
You had discussions with Kembe?
People had on my behalf. People, yani, it's the same thing that was happening with diaspora now. But yeah, like I even asked him one time, and he was like, "Yeah, there's no problem. Just we put something together and we just do it."
Yeah, that will be like what 20 years later, 20-something years later.
Yeah, it will be like 22.
22 years later.
2 years. Maybe we wait another 3 years and make
it
the 25.
and okay, the 25 anniversary. I think that will be. I think that will be interesting. So L.U.A.L, we talked a lot about your music. We talked about kind of like how you picked at a very early age, and also your stuff and what. What else do you do? Like what when you're not doing music, what are you doing?
Well, I'm an accountant also. Sometimes I'm an activist.
Because you studied accounting, you told me that's like in uni you studied. Where did you study?
I studied in Houghton University.
Where's that?
It's in New York, Langston and Houghton. Langston is in Oklahoma, and New York, Houghton University is in upstate New York, between Rochester and Buffalo.
Ah, bro, I wish I know these places.
Yeah.
I know New York. New York, I know.
Yeah, New York City.
So
well, it's far from New York.
It's
City.
far from New York.
Between Buffalo and Rochester.
Okay.
It's over there in the boondocks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a very small town. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone says hi to everyone.
So you studied the accounting. Do you still practice?
Yeah, I used to. I was working for Deloitte until they moved Deloitte Muscat.
Yeah.
And then they went back to after the war. They went back to Oman.
To Oman. So you used to work for Deloitte Muscat. Deloitte is one of the biggest consulting, accounting and whatever stuff. But you still do your stuff.
Yeah. Freelance every now and then.
Wow, a rapper accountant.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting combination. You don't talk much about yourself, and even in your collabs, you're telling me other people other people kind of go and speak for you, or someone said like, hey, connect with this. Why don't you talk a lot about yourself?
No, I don't know. I guess I'm modest. I don't want to. I don't know. It's just how I was brought up.
Okay, so I want us to play a segment of one of your work, and then I want you to do a commentary on it. So let me play. I want to play the recent stuff. So I'll probably play some of your recent work, and then you will tell me probably something about it. We should be on. That's you, right?
Yeah.
L.U.A.L, Shako on the beat. Crazy Fox. Cover the car.
Does you know how self with South Sudan? Knock, knock. Tataras. Knock, knock. Panga tataras. Yo, me into test my feline lot, Sota Benja Sila, Sota Ga, Kabaraka, does you know how self is South Sudan? For Awi Darabo, Arba Marat, Fidos Bitao, Betal Gadze, Tupac, Shankalam Buddha, who in the Fidukan, Umwa Butao, Gala Halo, who can Ashu Mad for Sudan, Min my move for Juba, they do ban, Minadola Zad, Joe Beggar Cab, Aya Beggar Sabel, Jiram Zatuzad, Aramiyad Beggar Dukri Bab. So this is basically a true story about what I've seen. Like back in 2016, the crime rate was very high. People were getting robbed. People were being killed for motorcycles, and so that was what the song was really about. It's about.
So you're actually narrating it's like a narrative. Like in the first verses, you're talking about a Darfurian guy
Yeah,
who
that got
owned a
killed
shop
in,
and got killed.
in over there in Mauna.
And that's a true story, actually.
Yeah, it's a true story.
And I find, like, just from the lyrics, you're saying like, this person left all his things. He came here to open a shop, and now he's dead in South Sudan, and you're lamenting that. How much of this work was inspired from a true story?
Yeah, it's from a true story.
And I think that reflects what you were saying earlier on. You saying about what you see,
Yeah, exactly.
what happened in the day. And like Kabar al-Kab actually means bad news, huh?
Yeah, it's bad news.
Bad news. And how did this collabo came to be with Crazy Fox? Like what was the idea? What inspired it?
It was based on a true story because one time I was in Rock City, and I saw someone get killed for over a border.
Wow.
And it didn't really even take that long. They just pulled a gun on him, bring the keys for the motorcycle, and he was like, he was in shock. And then next thing you know, he was just shot. They took his border and they left.
And you witnessed the.
Yeah, I was around there, but as soon as they started shooting, I had to.
You had to kind of like but then later on you came in.
Yeah, but they just wanted the motorcycle, so then they took it and they left.
And that is.
That was 2015.
Someone shouldn't be killed for that.
Yeah, they shouldn't be killed for a motorcycle.
And that's why that's why like kind of then you combine these stories and you're saying like this is bad news.
Yeah. And then another time, this was like 2013 or 2014. Our neighbor's house, they work in Blue Flag, Somalians.
Yeah.
They surrounded their house, and then people jumped in the house, and they have a guard inside the house. They killed the guard and killed like 2 people in the house because they wanted a V8. There's a car that they wanted. So they told the guy, we don't have the key for the V8. Then they killed that person too, and then they left. And like when we came out in the morning, we saw a whole like mattresses were brought out, bodies, like the whole neighborhood was just there watching. It was horrible.
That is a lot of sadness and trauma.
Yeah.
How do you process all that? Because while writing these lyrics, while singing all that, you have to constantly, like even as you're describing it to me, it's very vivid in your head.
Yeah.
Like the incidents with the Darfurian shopkeeper, the incident with the guy with the motorbike, the incident with your neighbor. How are you able to process all that trauma and make it into present it in an artistic way? Like how do you protect yourself from
Mind
being
body
sucked
medicine. I just breathe and. You know, we went to the retreat in Mozambique to do trauma healing. So I use those techniques to make sure that
you're not kind of traumatized by a lot of what you see and kind of what you consume.
Yeah.
And like it's I mean it's very tragic to witness all these things in our country. That's why we need to talk about it, whether in songs or in something else. I want to play something else. You did some work with Nancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see there is one that is called Slow Letter or something like that. Give peace a try.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
All right, that's cool.
L.U.A.L and Nancy, who worked on a song with the YP and the Youth Peace Network. And they'll be doing that song.
That is Forrest Whitaker actually.
Yeah,
introducing it.
Yeah, that's cool.
No more bombing from the skies. No more youth have to die. No more mama's gonna cry. No more tribalistic fights.
We need a common meeting ground instead of groups of certain crowds. More and more youth returning now with different mission, objective vision. But amongst returnees, I sense a division. I hope to envision in harmony my people living consciously without none of my people tripping over the mighty dollar. Hope our democracy honored. No bloodshed for the struggle of power. Nothing to make me prouder than for us to capitalize on our rain showers. Start the cultivation. No more procrastination. No more war in this nation. We want peace. That's the proclamation.
No more bombing from the skies. No more youth have to die. No more mama's gonna
war though. Time to reach for the stars, yo. No more arms embargo. No more heavy artillery loaded in cargoes. No more trying to instigate wars like that's your job though. But you reap what you sought though. Rebels raiding villages and convos. Government forces respond though. Shooting shots like Rondo. Once it's on though. But ain't no more terror in this young era. Unity, peace, it's time to come together under one umbrella. Remain one forever. Don't ever judge based on tribal clan. For peace we should try to stand. Extra hate speech, extra violence, and how we consider the failed state in this childish land. We headed down the wrong path. Time to switch plans. Time for big plans. Technocrats and think tanks.
No more bombing from the sky.
Wow. A lot. What led to this? I can see like Forrest Whitaker
This
kind
was
of like
actually
introducing
his
this.
induction as a UNESCO ambassador. And they asked me to do a song about peace within the youth. And at the time, there was a lot of division, and you could even sense the tension of the buildup of 2013 was starting to happen.
And this song was when?
2012.
Someone will think that this was done past 2013.
No, it's
Because it actually speaks as if it is speaking to the conflict of 2013.
No, it was December 2012, and I sensed it. So
Wow.
it was like I don't know. It's
Is it
like I predicted.
Like it's kind of a predictive or speaking to
Yeah,
what will happen if things don't go right.
exactly.
Because I thought it was like past 2013.
No, it's not like that. It's the same thing that when I went for the rap politic event in Copenhagen, they asked me, it's like, you did this song in 2012, and then 2013 it came out, it's like you predicted it. It was going to happen. And I was like, yeah, because I was on the ground, so I felt the tension and the rhetoric, the political rhetoric and the way people were talking. It seemed like those things were going to happen again.
So it's kind of like speaking about those themes. I find you very. I listen to your lyrics. I see good lyrics, good song, but I find good narrative. Do you view yourself as a storyteller?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like.
But it has to be a true story. I cannot
it has to be a true
I
story.
cannot make up a story and tell it. But if it's something that's happening,
So you can't do fiction, but like
I
if
can't
something
do
that
fiction.
happened, but you also
Non-fiction.
you narrate it in words that rhyme with each other,
yeah,
and that sounds like nice, but also kind of creates a narrative.
yeah.
And I find that to be a very unique gift. When Jay-Z, he was also saying like a lot of his songs comes from his reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he was in the hood, he speaks about the hood. And when he's rich, he speaks about his richness. He said like these songs are a reflection and a narrative of what he's doing. What are you listening to right now? What kind of things
Like
do you
I listen to reggae, Bob Marley, and
So you do a lot of Bob Marley. Yeah. What is the
he's
most
my inspiration.
which song of Bob Marley?
All of
is-
his songs.
All of his songs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I get something new from his songs every time I hear them.
So every time you hear them until now, you still get something new. You feel that you're more refreshed and you have something else. Anything contemporary? Like any other new artist that you listen to?
I don't really listen to it. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. L.U.A.L doesn't listen to a lot of new stuff. He's just into Bob Marley and all other things that kind of go. I'm kind of like, we're coming to the end of this podcast. And I probably like a lot of, we've been having conversations. I've been just asking a lot of questions. And from my point of view, I talk to a lot of people, but you're a very reserved person. I have to ask you a lot of questions to get stuff. If I let you to kind of speak for yourself, like what kind of message or something will you want to give to anyone who listens to this? Either about you, about your art, about this country, about the youth. What kind of things do you want to emphasize?
Cooperation and people working together in unity and being in harmony and just being at peace with yourself and with other people. And that's just basically the only thing that I can.
You're a man of few words.
Yeah.
But
I don't
you're a man of few words, but also a lot of words whenever you're given the mic.
Yes, exactly.
I want to end by playing one more thing of yours. So I'm looking for I'm looking for stuff here. I'm looking for something.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Where can we get his music?
Oh, where can we get his music?
You can get Confirmed from iTunes and a lot of the other digital stores.
Yeah.
And then SoundCloud and Reverb Nation.
Okay. So a lot of your music will get it there. So it's just like L.U.A.L. Will be able to find it.
Yeah.
I want to play one more thing. I don't know what should I look for? I want to play one thing from YouTube.
You can look for King Around Here maybe.
Huh?
King Around Here.
King around here.
Yeah.
Okay. King. So it's also on YouTube. Okay. Okay, King Around Here. Let me play that.
Untouchable African legend shit. I spit flames like a dragon in the opposite of heaven get. These other niggas flows, quotes, spokes, irrelevant. I freestyle written material like I have the memory of an elephant. That's not to be fucked with like a born again that's relevant. So let me break it down for you clowns not getting it. I'm the best, point blank period. That trash, I'm not hearing it. Your top track, stop that, you can't be serious. The top cat, you not that, you inexperienced. I cop that, rock that crown, I'm wearing it. You can't stop that hot cat, you just gotta be bearing it. Respecting, revering, and fearing it. I'm on a whole other level, you're not nearing it. Sneaky felon eyes, boys that'll leave you ain't gonna do a thing around here, I've been around here. My name, it rings around here, cause I'm the king around here that do a sing around here. Said I'm the king around here that do a sing around here. You ain't gonna do a thing around here, I've been around here. My name, it rings around here, cause I'm the king around here that do a sing around here. Said I'm the king around here that do a sing around here. You cats lacking hits, our tracks is mash your big. Get in the booth with malaria and typhoid. The track is sick. Heated up like summer in Los Angeles. That's what we had to do. And I ain't talk about the DJ when I say you ain't had the clue. It's nothing you saying, dude. It's a game of solitaire, cause it's only you that's playing you. I heat up like May and June, so play it cool. Like December, January, February. You never ready, I need my upfront necessary. Never fold cause I'm organized, born to ride. But your guys borderline, doja type, fake soldier type. That's known to walk but not known to bite. Never get off like an album not promoted right. That blunder it'll cost a mile, cause while it's false and false is why. You ain't gonna do a thing around here, I've been around here. My name, it rings around here, cause I'm the king around here that do a sing around here. Said I'm the king around here that do a sing around here. You ain't gonna do a thing around here, I've been around here. My name,
It rings around here.
Yo. I wasn't expecting that. That's a lot of energy, a lot of personality, and this is a song actually where you're speaking about yourself.
Yes, exactly. It's a braggadocious song.
I was actually looking for all other songs. You rarely spoke about yourself.
Yeah.
But this song is called King Around Here.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean? What is the meaning?
Lyrically, I'm just basically telling the rappers that I am the king around here. So
and
you should respect.
You should respect that.
Yeah.
I think probably that is the message that we should end this podcast with.
Yeah.
L.U.A.L is the king around here, and you should respect. Thanks, man. It was a delight having you here.
Thanks
Came to the podcast about nothing.
Huh?
You showed up in the podcast about nothing, and we spoke about nothing.
Right, about nothing, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone. This episode is over. I'm so looking forward to kind of listening to this and seeing what will be the reaction to it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
All right, thank you for having me.